Good afternoon. What's going on, Uproar Nation? We are live as always in the 1912 studios here in lovely Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm always alongside my guy, my dog, Flim. Like I said, we're just coming off a pretty big weekend here for the Tennessee State University Tigers. We're going to get into them and homecoming week. We're going to touch a little bit on Vanderbilt and their big win versus LSU. And then we're going to probably do a little teasing towards this upcoming site as well too. But before we get into all of those themes of everything Tennessee State, from the good quarterback efficiency we saw, the defensive play, the points that they had in the key moments on for both those teams. Flim, let me check with you. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm still recovering. What a homecoming, what a homecoming. Kudos to the university. They stepped out and made some changes that wasn't understood or liked at first. But, everything worked out well. It was a great homecoming. And like I said, I'm still over here recovering, brother. I'm saying we party hard. We party hard on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the Tigers got the win. So we're excited.
Yeah, and give me one quick second. I kind of lost your audio there real quick halfway through. I know you can still hear me, correct?
Yep, I can hear
Okay, all right. Kind of lost your audio there. Let me see what I can do to figure this thing out here.
All right, looks like he's left me to be by myself. It's okay. We've been having issues a little bit with the live stream, so we'll keep it moving. So we're really excited about going 1-0. That's what we talked about. And kudos to Coach Barlow and his staff for getting the program and the team prepared. And they played well. They dominated the football game. They got the W. So that's exciting, And, the thing is, we know this team is growing while they're playing. So they're very young. There are a lot of guys that have not played a lot of football, currently playing football. And it was good to see them get a W. The kids work hard. Those kids are young. Those kids have feelings. Those kids have, a lot of things that they do. And, losing 5 games in a row is really uncommon at Tennessee State University. So there was a lot of pressure on them. So for them to step out, come out this weekend and get the W for themselves, we talked about willing last week, about, looking to your left, looking to your right with your brothers and playing for each other. And then of course, the alumni and the fans and all the people who came in town to celebrate homecoming, to have that type of result was excellent. So good job, Tigers. You know what I'm saying? We support you with the wins and the losses. So we're glad that you got a W this week. Obviously, Reno is having an issue with the stream, but it's okay. I'm just going to carry this thing. Normally I'm not the host. So, I will continue to try to carry this programming until Reno gets his stuff going. Let's talk about break down the weekend. So the pep rally was a big conversation here in Nashville. The Eventbrite situation, getting tickets, XM Radio, Pandora, that whole platform was one of the things that people working, it was new. It was new. And so it was amazing. It was an amazing time at the pep rally. Real organized. I know some folks didn't get a chance to get in. That was unfortunate. But the folks that were there really enjoyed. So Reno's back. So I let Reno take. I'm having a monologue.
Man, sorry about that. But anyways, what I wanted to get into, and you were already going towards it already. Just you talking about the homecoming experience, right? And you talked about how XM Radio and Pandora really set out for the TSU homecoming. Again, you call it out. It was unfortunate that we had to go through this process of doing passes to get inside the pep rally, right? Typically any homecoming, right? It's you don't have to worry about that, but unfortunately, because of recent things that have happened on campus and other threats to other HBCUs, Homeland Security and others were really did their job of making sure that we did our best to really control the crowd and making sure that if any threat potentially did try to come, that all of that was going to be taken care of. So, so for the folks who did not understand that, that was the case. But I want to get into this, Flim. You tell me this, man. Who had the best plate, man? Because you, in my opinion, you was running for the unofficial mayor of homecoming, man. Shoot, people come in town for you as early as Tuesday, and you planning meals on Tuesday night to Wednesday, and then you did a great job with D Love Sports, who covers the DC Defenders. Showed them amazing hospitality as they come down to Nashville, and they brought a few of the DC Defender folks with them as well too, man. So talk to me about about outside of what you put together, right? Who you thought had the best plate, man?
Well, the momentum of the weekend just kept rolling down the hill. It just kept getting better and better. Shouts out to D Love Sports. She came in Thursday. We were able to hang out, and she didn't get a full experience to Friday just because of the logistics. There was a lot of things going on in Nashville this week. But undoubtedly, what the TigerDan group did was top notch. I mean, and of course, you're the president. The TigerDan group at the pep rally was amazing. A lot of brothers, a lot of friends, family members. Everybody got served. Everybody had a good time. People had a place to load. To come together and congregate and socialize. I mean, the pep rally was off the chain, man. The pep rally was definitely absolutely great.
Definitely was, man. Well, good deal there, man. Let's get into it, man. So as I talked about in the opening monologue, for me about this game, it was I call it 3 beats, and within those 3 beats, it was QB efficiency. That really set the thermostat for the team offensively. The defense did a great job of choking explosive plays. Because Howard, as a team that was offensively looking really, really good these past few weeks, so definitely want to give them their credits on that. And the defense showed up ready to address that and take on that, right? And then the final one was just the points before and right after the half, man. You as a former coach, I don't care what level you on, everyone will agree, just that 2-for-1 special, as some people call it, getting a score 6 points before halftime, coming out of halftime, getting another 6, man, that is worth in so many ways. That might be worth 4 touchdowns, So let's get to it. So that first one I talked about QB efficiency. I'll talk about Byron McNair, man.
Yeah, Byron had a great game. He's been. You look at his numbers. His completion rate is really high, and we talk with Coach Harris, and he's really scripting this game. Very, very, on a tight concept, because he understands that everybody's trying to learn. You got a young quarterback, and for Byron to be able to execute with that level of attendance and throw the ball and protect the ball, which has been a struggle for him. Mm-hmm. Protect the ball and go 18 for 22.
Yeah.
I mean, that's playing at a very high level, and kudos to that young man. Great game.
Yeah. I'll add. So fortunately, I was able to make the OVC coaches weekly conference calls and ask Coach Barlow, which we'll get that later on this week as well to the interview. But the one thing he definitely said when I asked him that question about McNair was, he's starting to come into his own, his rhythm, and he mentioned that Coach Harris, Coach Morgan, coach, the whole offensive staff, like they're really doing their job of just continuously hitting on the same things that it takes for him as a quarterback to evolve and to play better each time he's out there as well too, man. So like I said, the proof is starting to come through on that, man. Like I said, this is definitely for me, and I'll give you kudos to this as well too, Flim. You said that We needed Tennessee State needed to use last week's final quarter, fourth quarter against SEMO, as the momentum needed to take this opportunity, and they officially did what I've been looking for them to them do, which was play a complete half. And not only they could play a complete half, they played a complete game. That first drive was good. You come down there, score first drive. That is all about scripting and executing. So for the folks who don't understand that, in football, offensive coordinators script those first 12 to 15 plays, and when you script it and you score, you scripted it very, very well. So those were big right there.
Yeah, so we talked about it. We talked about eliminating the big plays on defense. They were able to do that. We also talked about creating big plays on offense. They were able to do that. And you just saw the team playing complementary football. The special teams played well. The defense was outstanding. The defense has really been good if they just eliminate the big play. And throughout the season, big plays have hampered them. Missed tackles, missed gap assignment. But they had it all together on Saturday, and they looked like a dominant force, which we expected from them.
Mm-hmm. They did, and then in the last beat, as I call it, let's get into it. Those points before the halftime and right after the halftime. And I mentioned this. It is such a momentum builder of getting the last score before halftime and knowing you get the ball at halftime and coming back out and scoring again. Talk to me about your thoughts when you saw that, right? And you're just watching, you're like, okay, now we're showing that we can control. It's no longer of just, let's just put together a good quarter, a good series, right? It's like, okay, we're starting to show that we can actually take control, man. So, I mean, give me your thoughts on that. And when you saw that, what came to mind for you?
Yeah, I saw a team maturing. I saw a team that was taking advantage of opportunities, and you can see a team growing, and you saw the kids bouncing around. You saw the energy from the sideline as well. So, this team has a lot of work to do, but it's great to see that it's progressing. It's great to see that they, are taking on the task and trying to become better. And that's a big win, It's a big win to get that homecoming win, especially with all the things the challenges that we faced this year. So, the sky's the limit for Tennessee State University. We got Western Illinois coming in this week. We can keep that momentum going, but we got a lot of kids. That was their very first homecoming, and they stood tall and they executed and they won a football game. So we got to give them love for that, because they're starting to understand what this thing is at Tennessee State University. You talk about it, but then you start experiencing it. It's a different world, man. It's a different world.
Always is, man. Like I said, we're gonna keep this thing rolling. So, this segment here is about plays that told the truth, man. And I got a few here, Flim. I want to, really highlight. I talked about this, the thermostat of the quarterback. Efficiency was high. We called it, I think correct me if I'm wrong, it was 18 of 22 for the game for him.
Yep, that's
18 of 22. That's good, and I'll say this, that's really good management, because when you're 18 for 22 with zero turnovers from your standpoint, by you quarterback wise, it's like, okay, that is what you want. You can win those kind of games. And I'll say this, and it's been said by a few other people, but I've always said this: having a quarterback be in a position to always feel like they gotta win it is just never good, anyways. I don't care if it's the highest level in the NFL, with Tom Brady and like a Peyton Manning, right? It's like, you don't want to always feel like you have to be in position to win it every drive, every quarter, right? And so playing just good management of the game is really, really good. So talk to me about, from that standpoint, right, of what you saw with McNair in the pocket, scanning inside and outside, hitting some guys, and especially on that opening touchdown, dropping it right in the bucket. I believe it the snap. Was it the snap Breed? I think who called the opening touchdown? Yeah, man. So talk to me about that thermostat of McNair.
Yeah, so the thing is, I think the thing that changed and helped McNair this week is he was involved in the run game. He was the leading rusher this week, and so now you got to do a threat situation, which gives him an opportunity to have open throws to the receivers. And like he played a clean game. He didn't turn the ball over. He was 18 for 22. I mean, that's almost perfect, for a quarterback to throw the football. So he had a full understanding of the game plan, and he executed, like a top tier quarterback this weekend.
He did. And the other thing that I noticed, was the body language from particularly the offensive line. They really looked like they were pointing towards the next play. Everything about them, and shout out to Coach Ehrenfeld. They were really about the next play. But overall, as a team, Tennessee State just looked like a team that was, for lack of a better word, they were pissed off about some things that they left on the table the previous weeks against some of these teams that they had fell short to. And it was like, we had more than ample opportunities to make more plays previously. And it was like, we're going to make those plays this week on both sides.
Yeah, and we talked about that. We talked about willing. They had to will. Look at your brothers to the left, look at your brother to the right, and say, we're not having it no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they played. They played like they were tired of losing. They played like they was tired of losing, and they, shouts out to Dominique Dixon. Goodness gracious. Wow. That young man had a hell of a game. Yeah. We talking about McNair. Of course, Kendrick, and everybody's keying on him. So it's, we understand it's the struggle right there. But, Zachary is starting to run the ball well. Snap is looking different. Slaughter, another touchdown, true freshman. Yeah. And then Connor Ruth and that back of the end zone touchdown. I mean, that was just a pretty play, pretty designed play. And so, man, these guys are starting to grow up. And so, hey, I'm excited about the rest of the season.
my bad. Like, I love to see when the tight end gets involved, man. Like, I mean, when you got a young quarterback, it's I love when you see the tight end get involved, man. So that's always good. And you segued into it nicely, for us. Defensively, man, box those edges, those corners, tackle like they were safeties. That RPO window was pretty much killed for Howard all game long, man. And I'm watching it by mid-second quarter, it's like those receivers were, they felt footsteps coming their way to some degree, man. But, talk to me about that as well, too. Let's just, you mentioned it with Dominique Dixon and the tackling he did, man. But just overall, man, they were in tune. They were so in tune.
Yeah, so we've talked all year about the defense. We talked about James Stewart and his outstanding play. Then Price had an amazing game. He stood up and really had a lot of influence in the backfield. But Micah Gay, I mean, look what he did. He's one of the few kids that's on the team from last year. 2 interceptions. Yeah. And he also, man, he was out there filling gaps. Like, those guys were really prepared. And they really wanted to play hard, and they did. And so, that's what we've been asking for, like put a, stake in the ground, draw a line in the sand. Like, hey, this ain't happening no more. And those kids weren't going to lose that game on Saturday. So we're excited, and, great job, from the football team.
Yeah. And the other key point that I recognize, situational maturity started to really show itself as well too, man. Tennessee State eliminated just the penalties that they could control, right? We saw that to a good degree. I think Howard still ended up with more penalties than Tennessee State did in Saturday's contest. So Situation maturity. It's a thing that you start to see, man, and just for me, and you probably agree with this, but the coaching staff is doing whether the record shows it right now. The coach staff is doing a great job of still just hitting home on those things, and that's the other thing Coach Barlow talked about during the OVC conference call today, which was it was good for a lot of reasons for the guys, right? But it's back to being trying to go 1-0 against the next opponent this upcoming week. So, but yeah, well, tell me what you saw from just situational maturity from the team from what we've seen the previous 3 to 4 weeks up and then what we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw a team that didn't want to make mistakes, kept each other accountable, and they played a solid game. And it was a solid game plan. They knew exactly what they was trying to accomplish. They executed, and that's what we expect from this team. And that's what we expect from this coaching staff. And we feel like that we have what it takes to beat any opponent. But at the same time, there's growing pains. So it was good for them to get that W. I'm interested to see how they carry that momentum against Western Illinois this week. And let's just start flexing our muscle a little bit, okay? It's okay. You had what you had. Now it's time to do something different. Now you got the W. Let's keep going 1-0 all the way out to the end of the season.
Definitely, man. So, as we keep this thing rolling to the next segment, so what? What's next? The blueprint. Tell me what you would change about this, Flim. Blueprint. QB, 25 attempts, 70% completion, win the early downs, ruthless in the last 2 minutes of each half. What would you say to that? What would you add? Agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so we got to build on that. McNair needs to make sure he protects the football, and that's really huge. You know what I mean? The offensive line is starting to gel a little bit. They put the freshman back in at center, so they're starting to get consistent snaps. And then now people got to get just focused in on their assignment each play. And we still saw some mistakes out there. Some mistakes was a lack of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to continue. I know they're going to practice this week and make things, point those things out. But, at the end of the day, you got some willing participants that want to play football, regardless of what the situation is. And we just keep building on it.
Definitely, man. So shoot, man, as we lock into this this upcoming game, again, another home game. This is home game number 6, I believe it is, of the 8. So looking forward to seeing if TSU take it another 1-0 at home versus Illinois, man. So we're gonna pause right here. We're gonna have a quick break on Air Read Ad, man. Just want to take this quick moment to as Flim has told everyone, as president of Football Alumni Organization, we are supporters of the TigerDan Group, which is a registered nonprofit and national nonprofit that is, and we're looking for you all to continue that support of the work that the TigerDan Group does to support TSU athletics. TigerDan's mission is about supporting off-field opportunities for the student athletes beyond just football. So doing a lot of work to help bring in the mental health coaching for the guys outside of the field, right? So sports psychiatrists, things like that, doing what we can to help support the enhancement of all things sports performance and recovery for the student athletes. So doing our portion in that as well too, man. And then obviously we always do what we can to help with the guys who not necessarily gonna go pro, right? Because not everyone gets to go pro, but you do go pro in life as something else outside of college football. So make sure that we set them up for those opportunities to be most prepared for whatever career field they look to go into once they leave here. So as always, hit the QR code at the top left corner of the screen right there. I believe should be on your left corner of the screen. If not, hit that QR code. Tap in with the TigerDan Group. Learn about us. Learn what trying to do up there with the TigerDan Group. And as always, you If you're looking for a chance to volunteer and engage, just reach out to us. All righty, so we're going to keep this thing going. As we mentioned, uh, this deal, Nashville was rocking. So for the folks who came into Nashville and didn't realize what was going on, we're sorry, but we're not sorry. It was a big weekend for Nashville college sports, man. Tennessee State did their thing, and obviously Vanderbilt, who is now ranked in the top 10 in the country. Shout out to Vanderbilt, man. Shout out to Vanderbilt, man. If it's okay, I'm gonna put up my gold doors, man. We're gonna end it down on this thing, man. Shout out to them, man. So, Flim, I know you had a chance to go hang out with a lot of some of those leaderships, those contributors with Vanderbilt as well too, man. But going into this game, right? And I don't know how you felt about it, but this will do. Tell me, what were you thinking going into the game? How were you feeling about Vanderbilt and their chances of winning?
Well, we talked about on the show, Vanderbilt was favored for a reason. LSU was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt's for real. No, if you don't think Vanderbilt's for real, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You don't want to see Vanderbilt on a Saturday night.
No, sir.
You don't want to see them on Saturday night. They are mature on both sides of the ball. Offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, cornerbacks. Their quarterback is probably my age. So he's mature. Those guys can play some football over there. They have built a juggernaut over there. And so, they have Missouri this week. And if they win that game, they are going to be heading to the college football playoffs, and it is what it is. You got to deal with Vanderbilt. They have the running backs, they have the quarterbacks, they have the receivers, and they have a very mature defense and offensive line. They can play on any field on any time. So, I thought Vanderbilt was going to do exactly what they did. And,
they did, man. And I think Kirk Herbstreit said it on College Game Day last week, this past Saturday. He was like, stop looking at them like this is Vanderbilt. Yeah. Stop that. Because it is a rude awakening. Absolutely. You better come. This is not Cinderella, folks, at all. No. This is not Cinderella. Okay. So they as Flim said, they are for real. I mean, they're not going to look shocked. They didn't look shocked versus LSU. They body clocked them, man. They body clocked them. I'm just sitting right here just watching the game, and I just said, yeah, this is LSU ain't gonna get this one. I said they'll make the score look good, but in so many ways, I really believe that Vanderbilt controlled it in just about every way possible. Even though the score is not gonna show you like it was a 55-3 game, but if you're watching the game, it was like, yeah, Vanderbilt got this, man.
Oh yeah, Vanderbilt, they built it. Shout outs to the AD over there, Miss Candace. She's gave the program back to the people. She understood. She went and got Clark Lee. He's a Nashvilleian. You know what I'm saying? It has a lot of roots here. And when I went and spent time over at Vanderbilt, they welcomed me like I graduated from Vanderbilt. And I was like, wow, this is like, and they knew the work I did at Tennessee State University. And they want to be a part of Tennessee State University. There's great relationships with Vanderbilt and Tennessee State that are really not being tapped into. But, they work with our mass communication department,
Yeah.
And, but yeah, man, those folks want the best for us because everybody knows a healthy Tennessee State University is a healthy Nashville. So Vanderbilt is healthy, okay?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about the Titans right now, okay? They're working on it. But, people want Tennessee State to win. We just got to open these doors up and let people in so they can, give us the support and the resource that we need.
Definitely, man. So let's get into some of these buckets of how Vandy did it, man. It was, for me, I put down this QB gravity. The read, keeping it, those bash looks really muddied those linebacker eyes a lot. Because what play was that? I think Vanderbilt was on the plus like 35, 40-yard line, and Diego hits the sideline, and for up for the score, man. So that's what I saw. And then situational football, for me with them, short yardage tone, fourth and goal, they cashed in every single time, and just you saw it just change the things for LSU. And then the last thing, I'm gonna steal your line here. They played complementary ball. You
Okay.
know, contain the edges. Safeties were top down. They forced a lot of threes and not sevens. So those were having in there, man. So back to bucket one. Talk to me about just Diego and just really keeping those linebackers in muddied spaces and not reacting fast.
Yeah, well, I think Diego was pretty ticked off about his performance in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
His 2 turnovers in the red zone. What's the difference in the game? And Vanderbilt could have won that game as well.
Yeah.
And so Diego came out this week and he was ready, to make amends. And the thing is that Vanderbilts are so physical.
Mm-hmm.
You don't expect Vanderbilt to be so imposing physically, but they really whip your butt out there. They got some butt whoopers all over that field, and then you just succumb to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because the quarterback is physical. I was surprised they let him get away with the runs that he got away with. I mean, he rushed for over 80 yards. And you coming into that game, you got to know you got to contain Pavia. You can't let him get loose. You know what I mean? And so that's how they did it, man. He used his arms, he used his legs. The offensive line, the defensive line, linebackers were all physical. Big hitting during that game, the whole game. And Vanderbilt's for real.
Yeah. They are, man. And I said this, for the folks who are Nashville, like if you're like born in like the 80s and back, that even in the 90s, Vanderbilt had great defenses then. We talk about some guys like Shelton Quarles, Jamie Duncan, Corey Harris. They've had plenty, and even back to family member of mine, that I've had there. Dennis Harrison, defensive end, that was there in the 70s. So it's like they've had defensive guys. So just seeing them back dominating on defense, and now they got an offense that gets it done. So complimentary ball, man. That is. I think I'm gonna get a shirt that's gonna have your face on it, Flim, that says complimentary ball, and we just gonna make sure that's what. That's the motto right there, man. It's a full team effort.
Yeah, I lost you a little bit, Reno. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, what's your question?
I know. I said I was talking about Vanderbilt and just playing complimentary ball, of just talking about the history, right? Of always having, if you're born in the 80s, 70s, even before, you knew that Vanderbilt has been known for quite some time to have some good defenses, and they've had good defensive players, great ones. Jamie Duncan, Shelton Quarles, Corey Harris. I said even my cousin Dennis Harrison was a long-time NFL defensive end, and now Vanderbilt is back really playing really, really good defense, like woo. And then they got the offense to go with it. And I said it's about your quote, complimentary football. And I said we're gonna get a shirt with your face on it that says complimentary football.
It's important, man.
We're just gonna walk and you're just gonna point. That's it. We're just gonna walk and tell at the stadiums. That's all we need right there. That's it. Compliment each other. That's it.
That's it, man. Great weekend in Nashville. But we're still not going to have any Cam Ward slander, okay? It's tough over there, man. It is what it is. But we're not going to listen to no Cam Ward slander, okay?
Hey,
that
man,
kid got a lot.
This is what I want to do. I want to, like I said, before we get up out of here, man, I am a Patriot fan. So for me, it was a lovely weekend. It was a lovely weekend for me. So My boys at 26th Avenue North did their thing. Then go to Saturday, the boys on West End did their thing. Then the boys on Johnny Merritt did their thing, and then Tights come to Nashville and do what they need to do, man. So it was good for me. As we say, TSU homecoming weekend owes me nothing.
Oh yeah, man. I like I said, I'm still recovering. Like no work. I'm over here trying to walk. I'm over here getting hydrated with Gatorade. I mean, and I blame you, Reno, because who does a all you can eat, all you can drink pep rally mixer for the boys? I mean, we couldn't stop. How many times did we run out of liquor and then we had to go get more?
Man, we literally had to, shout out to 1912. They helped sponsor that portion of it right there, man. So shout out to 1912, for that, man. But it was, like, again, with me and just what we do, it's we want to get together and connect, but we also still want to make sure that we're doing something that's going to support the current student athletes at the same time, right? Like I don't want to, at least right now in this early stage of TigerDan Group as a young nonprofit, it's not good physical responsibility just to have a good time without purpose. And we're looking forward to sharing that news of what that gift is going to be. Had a meeting with coach and the staff of some things that they need to help elevate the team as well too. So we're gonna be on the lookout for that news right there, of some stuff there. So as always, I'll say this again, make sure at the top right there, the corner of this telecast, make sure you hover over that QR code, hit that button right there, connect with us at the TigerDanGroup.org. Flim, any last uproar shots, like any last parting uproar shots before we shut this thing down?
Oh yeah, just like listen, don't get excited about Howard. Okay. We always beat Howard. Well, I told you, what I'm saying? Well, we'll take the dub, you know what I'm saying? And that's just fun to my Howard people, my DC people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know better come down here and mess with us. But yeah, we appreciate y'all supporting homecoming. I think people were excited that you guys were the opponents. And I think you saw 14,000 in the stands. You saw every, party have, plenty of support. Pep rally was phenomenal. Pep parade was phenomenal. So yeah, it was a successful weekend. Absolutely. Great homecoming.
Yeah, man. It was. And my final uproar shots, I want to give a quick shout out to Kalen Newton. Kalen is the youngest brother of my teammate Cecil Newton and Cam Newton, right? So they were all at the game. Kalen played quarterback at Howard when he came out of high school, and so it was a good family affair for them. And Kalen talked about how Howard by 17. So during the week it was me, Kalen, Cecil on the phone call. We were just talking, and I'm just greasing it like I'm literally just making them feel like, oh yeah, Howard got it right. I said, yeah, man, I said Howard they're doing all of this stuff right here, right? And the whole time I'm texting Cecil like, man, ain't anybody worry about this, man. I'm just buttering him up. I want them feeling real good. And sure enough, able to go up there, and I was with them in the suite for a little bit. I went around. I was around him, started the game, and towards the end of the game, I came back down. I was like, Kaylin, I need to make sure that you drop a video. The same way you did before the game. We're gonna need another video, man. So he did that, man. But it was all in good fun, man. But yeah, that's where we have it at, man. So see you all on Thursday as we go live again here on Uproar Radio Show.